Welcome back to Movies TV Man. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Man. And welcome to Monday's edition of the MUFC Daily. The Manchester United revolution has begun. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be ugly. And it's going to be ugly for a very, very long time. Something we discussed yesterday. But people's attitudes towards the Ralph's revolution is already very interesting. It doesn't suit top Reds. It doesn't suit ex-legends like Gary Neville, and they're going to use their public power to try and fight against him. I mean, Ralph said some interesting things already. He said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's assistant manager didn't do anything. He wasn't taking training. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. In other words, what the fuck was and is the geezer doing here? So he'll be gone already. We already know that Martial is off. He probably told Martial as soon as he turned up at the club, I can't do anything with you. It's time for you to go. And who knows what Pogba's been told, but I'm sure when the January winter transfer window opens, things are going to happen and it's going to be very, very public. You're going to see a lot of people disbanded with in January than in the summer. So this is as I said before, this is a fixer. This is someone who's come in to do something extremely ruthless and recreate the Manchester United DNA, if you like. Manchester United has been on a downward spiral for many years, even before Sir Alex left. When Sir Alex decided to kind of eject what he used to do by, bringing in players from 20 to 27, when all he cared about was his legacy. His final season was about his legacy, and the 3 prior seasons were like that as well. He wasn't interested in the future of Manchester United because he knew he wasn't getting any younger, and all he cared about was securing his legacy. So Manchester United has been in trouble ever since then and been going on a downward spiral with the kind of ending few seasons, the final few seasons of Fergie, then Moyes, then Van Gaal, then Mourinho, then Solskjaer, and we've been led to having desperately to bring a fixer in. And Manchester United have been behind the ball in terms of when you compare it with other clubs. We've only just had a director of football who's actually doing quite a good job of making some great decisions, but that's because the public and the media pushed them into getting a director of football. It's all pressure based to sorting out the club because the fans put pressure on them to sort out the stadium. So it's come from, if it wasn't for the fans, we'd still probably be with Solskjaer or probably with Mourinho or Van Gaal. But there is a bad cultural problem at Manchester United. And what you're going to see Ralph do is kind of dissolve it from the club. And the situation is that people like Gary Neville have been ruling the roost for too long. He's got this whole thing where he won't have a manager being sacked. But he says, I will not ask for my friend Solskjaer to be fired. But he's already putting little marbles in there and criticising Ralph inadvertently. So it's already started because he knows what Ralph's doing. He knows that Ralph is going to clear out this club, demolish what Manchester United is now, and create a new normal, a new revolution for Manchester United. One of the major reasons that Van Gaal, Moyes, Mourinho and Solskjaer couldn't survive, not so much Solskjaer because he was a useless accidental manager, but those other managers, is because people at the club were working against him. Players didn't want the change, they wanted things to stay the same. The club wanted things to stay the same. But what Ralph's going to do, anyone who doesn't want to work with him and works against him, before they go off telling tittle-tattle tales to the media or to the Glazers or John Murtough, he has got a license. Basically, Ralph has got a license to kill here. He is going to get rid of anyone that he doesn't feel can progress the club the way he needs to progress it. Basically, as I say, Ralph is a fixer. He's going to demolish the club and he's going to rebuild it again. That's what's going to happen. These are the facts. And this is going to be really painful for a lot of people. As I said yesterday, most of your favourite players are going to be disbanded either in January, as we've already said. Martial is gone. He's a dead duck. Ralph said, no, I can't do anything with you. You're gone. And there's going to be a lot of players facing the chop. Not just footballers, not just the playing staff, but coaches. I think a journalist has done an article this morning about how many coaches we have at the club. Well, don't worry, this time next year, there won't be as many coaches. It will just be a few of Ralf Rangnick's people. So, and that's what we want. I'm all for the Ralf revolution. I'm not living in denial. Manchester United, as I say, has been going downhill. We've been a shit show even when Fergie was there in his last few seasons. They are the facts, and we need someone cold and calculating who's not necessarily in love with Manchester United but respects what Manchester United used to be and say, right. It's a bit like Gordon Ramsay when he goes into a hotel or a restaurant and he kind of says, you know the concept, right? He goes in, he tells them what they're doing wrong, and they hate him for it. And this is what Ralph's doing. He's coming in, he's saying, this is shit, that's shit, your shit, their shit, the other person's shit. I need to get rid of half of you, and half of you I'm going to keep because I think I can do something with you. It's the Gordon Ramsay effect, if you like, kitchen nightmare, right? Something like that. Manchester United's football nightmare, which it's been since the last few seasons of Sir Alex Ferguson. So this guy's going to come in and fix it. But what we can't have is someone coming in to fix it like Gordon Ramsay does with the hotels and restaurants, then moves on, because the shit show will come back again. The old habits will come back. We have got someone who is disciplined, who expects discipline from the people who work for him. So we need him to stay, or we need someone, working. We need him upstairs. We need him as a sporting director for sure. While we have someone like Ten Hag, being the manager, or someone, right? Someone that Ralf says should be the manager. And I'm hoping this is the way we go. So he's here now, Ralf, for the next 6 months. So it's going to be very, very hard work. And he may say, my job isn't done. I can't just go upstairs. There's things to be sorted out in the team and I can sort out the rest of it. That's what he's doing now. He's not just looking at the team. He's looking at the entire club, the footballing side of the club. It's no surprise to me that the women are now getting a director of women's football. That's just happened since Ralf Rangnick has come in, a week ago. So these are the things that Ralph's telling them to do, and now they've decided to really take the female side of the football club seriously, and quite right too. I love the women's team. I like women's football in general. I like all football, right? It doesn't matter who's playing with it, who's playing it, and how they identify and what gender they are. I love football in all forms and at all levels, and I used to watch all levels in the good old days. Now I'm out here in Cyprus, I just can't do that. But yeah, I love football and I love Manchester United, and I want to see us become what we used to be. But no, I don't want us to become what we used to be under Fergie. I want us to become better than that. And I think we can. The German clubs are also well run, from Dortmund to Bayern. It's all there. So to bring someone like this in, yes, he's not going to make a lot of friends, right? You've got to understand he's going to make a lot of enemies. He's already making enemies of the ex-legends. He's making enemies of a lot of the staff members at the club, and they're going to tittle-tattle about him to the press. But when we get to January and when we get to the end of the season, that's where it's really going to happen. This is where you're going to see so many people being sacked and removed. And that's exactly what I want. So I'm Team Ralf Rangnick for sure. I believe in this. And can I just say something? I've never been a fan of player ratings, but right now, player ratings are irrelevant. And I know YouTubers like to do them because they bring people in, they put butts in seats. Understandable, I'm not criticising them for it. I'm just saying, player ratings have never really interested me, but now they're irrelevant because these players you're fighting for, that you're giving ratings to, whether it's De Gea or whatever it is, we don't know who stays and who goes. Okay? So the player ratings are now irrelevant because half these players don't even have a future at the club. These players are now a means to an end. So, I'm bored about player ratings. I don't want to talk about who I'd like to play in the team because that's irrelevant as well. Again, half of these players playing in the team are a means to an end. Just because he's picking them doesn't mean he rates them. McFred is playing because they're two steely midfielders who can protect the back four that he doesn't trust, right? So he probably doesn't trust 6 or 7 members of this team that he's actually picking. So don't make the mistake of thinking whoever he's picking is safe. Nobody is safe at the club, either in the footballing side of the playing staff or the coaches or anyone else at the club. As I said on the top of the video, this is a bulldozer going into Manchester United, and Ralph is going to rebuild it from brick to brick. This has been the MUFC Daily. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. And I'll see you again tomorrow with even more MUFC Daily. Until then, auf Wiedersehen.